In this video, I'll cover the 5 most popular design trends in graphic and web design for the summer of 2024. We'll discuss why these trends are standing out and how can you replicate them in your work. I'll be sharing more than 30 free resources on topics like color palettes, typography, visual inspiration, and portfolio building. My name is Ansh Mehta and I train businesses on technology and design. So without further ado, let's get started. This video is split into 3 chapters. First, we'll cover the top 5 trends of summer 2024. Then, I'll teach you how to stay updated with the latest trends, and in the end, I'll give you a step-by-step guide for building your first portfolio. Let's start with chapter number 1. Our first trend is dimensional scrolling. This trend isn't really new, but it is surely the most popular one in the web design industry. The goal is to make the viewer feel that their screen has much more depth and dimension to it. Designers either embed a video or a 3D model that you play as you scroll. They also use parallax effects that progressively appear as you move through the landing page. Now, watching elements evolve and grow as you scroll makes the entire experience very satisfying because as a viewer, you feel like you're unwrapping a gift. The incentive to see what comes next makes you want to scroll till the end of the page. Now, to implement these styles, you need to learn a 3D tool like Spline. Once you've made a model on Spline, it is embedded into your website. Let me know in the comments if you'd like a free course on 3D designing using Spline. Now, there are 2 popular no-code web development tools, Framer and Webflow. Now, if you don't know Framer, then this no-code tutorial of ours will help you get started. If you don't know Webflow, then Webflow University's free videos are a great place to learn web development. Now, between Framer and Webflow, I personally prefer Framer because it's easier to learn. Webflow gives you a lot more options, but for quick execution, I always use Framer. My own learning platform, learnuiux.in, is also built on Framer. Our AI learning platform, howtoprompt.in, is built on Webflow. So trust me, I've been hands-on with both of these tools, and both of these tools have their own specific special place. This video on building 3D websites with Spline and Framer will help you figure out this entire 3D workflow. I will also share the Webflow version of this tutorial as well. By the way, the next set of trends is not limited to just web design. You can pick parts and use these lessons in graphic and marketing design as well. Now, before we move ahead, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Herovired, a part of the Hero Group family. They offer awesome courses designed with inputs from top global institutions, making sure you get the skills employers are actually looking for. They've launched a certificate program in extended reality in collaboration with Snapchat and Unreal Engine that will teach you everything you need to know about augmented reality and virtual reality. It's an online 7-month-long course and the applications are now open. You'll learn how to build for Oculus and Snap AR by using tools like Maya, Photoshop, and Unreal Engine. The syllabus is split into 4 phases. They'll teach you about the fundamentals of extended reality and give you project-based lessons on building AR/VR experiences in Unreal Engine 5. For a limited period of time, Herovired is also offering a free Gen AI program worth 1 lakh rupees along with one-to-one mentorship that helps you prepare for the latest jobs in 2024. You do not need any prior coding knowledge to join this. Herovired has small batches and 70 to 90% of their course has live interactive classes, so you'll have enough time with your instructors to learn and clear your doubts. There are limited seats available, so quickly go to the link in description and apply for it as soon as you can. Eligible users can get up to 20% scholarship. Now, let's go back to our trends. The second trend is Bento Grids. This trend is so popular that there is a legit website dedicated to just bento grid inspiration called bentogrids.com. Apple has a big role in making this format more popular because they use it on their websites and during their keynotes. The concept of a bento grid comes from the Japanese tradition of serving a variety of dishes in a single container known as a bento box. This approach not only ensures fitting multiple things in one viewport, but also makes you feel like you're getting a lot more features and value. And because everything fits so well, it feels very pleasing and symmetrical to the eyes. You also end up communicating a lot without wasting any extra vertical real estate. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but I keep breaking down design inspiration from all over the place on my Instagram broadcast community. You can scan this QR code and join our regular discussions. If you're building a SaaS landing page, then Bento Grids are the perfect way to fit multiple offerings in a single viewport. You can improve your grid even further by adding looping animations to each container. If you don't know how Lottie animations work, let me know in the comment section if you want a proper course on using Lottie animations and motion graphics. Designers also add Easter eggs in Bento Grids or subtle animations on hover, which makes the user very curious and spend more time exploring the website. The third trend is gradients and contrast. The goal here is to use bright rich colors or gradients with backgrounds that lie on the opposite spectrum of contrast levels. This not only breaks the monotony but also ensures accessibility in any lighting condition. Because the colors pop out, you can easily guide your viewers' attention. Now, if you want to implement high contrast in your graphic design or website, make sure that you use a limited color palette to maintain focus and consistency. And you can get color palettes from websites like goodpalette.io or colorhunt.co or even coolers.co. If you struggle with gradients, then you can get ideas from meshgradient.com or shadergradient.co or even download free backgrounds from this pack right here. In fact, here are 3 landing pages that use this trend really well. On top, we have povbudapest.com that plays with a lot of shapes, hover states and videos. Then we have beta.stripe.dev that has a dark theme with a science fiction-y purple contrast coupled with a lot of cool animations and gradients. This one has a lot of detail in it. Next, we have nicolamiranda.com that uses a very cool newspaper style layout to showcase all their work, and I absolutely love the opening animation where the newspaper sort of rotates and comes into the viewport. I just wish they had added motion blur to that animation, just felt very jittery. The fourth trend is Edgeless Media. This is when you embed videos on autoplay that have no boundaries or rounded edges. They cover the entire width of your viewport and make the entire experience really immersive. Some designers use Edgeless Media to show 3D models and breakdowns to tell a proper story that uses progressive disclosure as you vertically scroll past the viewport. Last and the fifth trend is experimental typography. Designers are now shifting away from generic sans serif typefaces and introducing more variety into their brand identities. By using a mix of cursive and bold fonts, you can create some really appealing fusions and keep your viewers interested and curious to see more. But be careful, because this style usually works on headings but not that well on body text. Overdoing experimental typography can end up confusing the reader as well. Now, if you want to get the name of a website's typeface, then Font Ninja's free Chrome extension will help you get the exact name. Otherwise, you can use Font Matchator by fontspring.com that helps you upload an image of any text and find out what that typeface is. The same thing can be done on What Font Is or myfonts.com or even fontsquirrel.com. So all of these platforms have their own font detector. In fact, if you want very detailed branding related inspiration, then you can check out brandingstyleguides.com. It has a huge collection of real brand identity decks. And if you're really interested in typography as a niche, then this free manual on practicaltypography.com will help you understand every little detail through practical examples. So let's quickly revise all the 5 trends. First was dimensional scrolling, where you try to include 3D models, parallax effects, and more depth into your designs. Next was Bento Grids, that helps you showcase all your features very neatly in a grid without spending too much vertical real estate. Third was gradients and contrast, which is all about adding vibrancy and more personality to your designs. Fourth was Edgeless Media that spans content across the width of your viewport or 3D models across the entire width without any overlaying distractions. And in the end, we saw experimental typography, which is all about replacing generic fonts with new and contrasting typefaces. With all of this completed, let's start to chapter number 2. The big question is, how do you stay updated with all of these trends? And where do you go to find the best ideas? Well, I want you to build a habit of finding inspiration and trends every 10 days. And here are my top inspiration websites to get started. Number 1 is curated.design. Number 2 is refro.design. On number 3, we have landingfolio.com. On number 4, we have saaslandingpage.com. On number 5, we have landbook.com. On number 6, we have nice.com. And if you go to their component section, it actually gives you this huge library of very specific component-based inspiration. On number 7, we have webdesigninspiration.com. And on number 8, we have darkmodedesign.com. If you want more such inspiring websites, then you can watch this live stream right here, because I had shared a lot of resources for both product and website designs in this one single session. If you want to see how I break down landing page designs, then this live stream will help you understand my own thought process behind finding patterns and inspiration, because it's not just about collecting JPEGs. You need to have enough maturity and enough wisdom and enough attention to detail to spot those common patterns across your competition. But Ansh, everything you showed is for web design. What if I'm into social media or marketing? In that case, there are 4 videos that will help you save months of research. First is our marketing crash course on using Figma for social media. This one video will teach you the basics of logo design, brand identities, and social media. Next, we have our graphic design roadmap for social media, where I teach a very useful AI tool called Kittle. I personally prefer Kittle over Canva because of their templates and cleaner UI. We also have a Canva and ChatGPT tutorial where I teach you how to use Canva and AI together to get better ideas. Then we have our very amazing podcast with Rajeev Mehta sir, who shared his top industry level insights and career building tips for both beginner and expert level graphic designers. Students absolutely love this podcast. It is very obvious from the comment section. With this being covered, let's move on to chapter number 3. Now I know that most of you struggle building a good portfolio because most students are confused about what all to include and what kind of case studies should they be working on. So for portfolio building, I would recommend you to check out pafolios.com and follow this 6-step checklist. And this checklist works for both graphic designers and web designers. First, go to this website and select the niche you want to work in. Then, analyze the work of designers who are added here, because the rules change for every niche. You need to figure out what exactly is the checklist for the job category that you are applying for, and collect as much inspiration as you can. Then go to LinkedIn and shortlist 5 companies that you want to work for. If possible, target VC-backed startups that are post-Series A in funding. VC stands for Venture Capitalist, which basically means that you can go to a website like Y Combinator or Sequoia and figure out who have they funded in this quarter, and then figure out which are the companies who have completed their Series A funding, because these are the kind of companies that are looking for more talent and they also have the budget to pay you on time. Now, pick a specific niche like fintech, Web3 or edtech, something that you are inherently interested in, so that you are very focused on what you want to achieve. It makes no sense to have multiple case studies from topics from all around the world with different niches. Lock a specific niche, shortlist 5 companies that you're aiming for. You can have a balance where 3 can be startups and 2 can be big brands. But because the market is becoming very competitive, you should always balance your portfolio. And I call it portfolio because it is essentially you investing your own time and effort into creating your case studies. So I would recommend you to have a goal for 3 startups and 2 big brands. On number 4, recognize the exact branding style your target company has. So go through their social media, go through their websites. If you have, say, 5 companies in the health tech niche, then you need to do thorough research on what health tech websites or graphics look like. What are the typefaces, the color schemes, the illustrations that they use? And then use the inspiration websites I showed you a few minutes ago. On number 5, work on 3 case studies that look and feel similar to what your dream company is doing. And you can take clues from designers listed on Pafolios as well. So you'll know what kind of work and what kind of quality is expected from designers just like you from all over the world. And it's not just for job applications. This will help you get freelance clients as well. Because on number 6, I want to remind you that while you're working, make sure that you're regularly posting on LinkedIn, Instagram, and X. You don't have to be a creator to build a personal brand. You can always be a curator. In fact, I had shared a step-by-step roadmap in our last video on how do I make money as a content creator, and that will tell you how can you start as a curator on social media instead of a creator, which will help you get clients way more easier. And while you are curating in public, Please connect with recruiters, design managers, and founders so that you're visible to the right kind of people. It makes no sense to post on LinkedIn if you're only connected with your friends. You can find more portfolio inspiration on bestfolios.com and portfolio.adobe.com. You can also use a no-code tool like Notion to make your portfolio and connect it to your domain name. I really hope you've bought your domain name. They usually cost just 1200 rupees or 1500 rupees a year, and they are extremely important to set a solid first impression. Now, a close friend of mine, Shai, had created a list of some really inspiring portfolios on LinkedIn. These are of product designers, but I'm sure that if you combine lessons from these plus all the things I've taught you so far, you will be able to have a lot of great ideas to build a solid portfolio. This list has portfolios of product designers working at Spotify, Adobe, Freshworks, Airbnb, Meta, WhatsApp, and Google. It will really help you a clear understanding of what kind of work are these people doing and what do they have in their resume, their portfolio, how does their experience look like. It's really inspiring because you have a roadmap to follow, and I really hope that you've seen our previous roadmap videos. We regularly make roadmap videos for UX designers, for using AI in your day-to-day work. So I really hope that you are in touch with whatever masterclass content that we've uploaded so far. If you like this video, take a screenshot and put it on social media with your learnings and tag me so I can see it as well. I always make sure I acknowledge every single share that we get. And if you're scared about AI taking over, we've already created multiple masterclasses for creative professionals and designers where I've taught practical frameworks and prompting techniques to help you get ahead faster than ever. Let me know in the comments if you want us to make more such trend-based videos, because I would love to discuss trends for posters, user interfaces, and even video editing. And let me know if I can go even deeper into how these trends work and what is the psychology behind these trends. In fact, there are 3 masterclasses that I'd strongly recommend. You'd find all the links in description. We also have a playlist where we do UI breakdown as well. So if you haven't seen our UI breakdown playlist or our UI redesign playlist, then I'd strongly recommend you to check them out. They will really help you if you're entering the product design industry. With that being said, I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This is your dost Ansh Mehra signing out. If you enjoyed this video, then do check out this video of the same series. I am sure that it will help you even more.